Hello! In today's video for speaking about doing what you want to do, the angle I want to take today has to do with the importance of doing things your way towards being able to really push the boundaries of your growth in a way that we necessarily can't responsibly do if we're doing it for someone else, if we're doing it someone else's way. So as an example of this, part of what we do as kind of the ongoing exercise that Game Keto Club is built around is at any given time, there's multiple games going on, people can spot tasks that are at the edge of their ability. Or when they start the task, they're starting the task because they're not quite sure they know how to do it. And either they're going to figure it out, or they're going to call upon me or one of our trainers for help, and they'll get help going through it. But that they can take on each task specifically to see, can I do this? How will I do this? Knowing with certainty that if either on their own figuring it out or with a bit of assistance, by the end of having taken on the task, they're going to have learned a new thing about how to do it. Because they're able to do the thing their way that they feel like doing, in alignment with their interests. As opposed to if instead there's an opportunity, and someone's willing and ready to pay someone to do something, it becomes much riskier, much scarier to extend ourselves too much further in terms of, I'm not really sure I can do that for you, but pay me anyway. There are people who will do that. There are people who have figured out ways to navigate a career doing that. Most of us are rightfully uncomfortable with accepting a contract for something that we are not prepared to adequately do. But when you're doing it your way, then it's not about worrying with the weight on your shoulders that I mislead an employer, did I mislead a client, and instead it becomes just an open-ended, continuous exploration where you're able to test and figure out where that line is, where the boundary is at any given time as you continue to push on it. Of taking on things in part to challenge yourself to see each piece one at a time. Can you do this? Can you figure it out? And again, that's something which only comes from doing things that you want to do, the way you want to do them. It is a much tougher exercise to take on in the space in which those pressures are connected to it. If only because most of us won't put ourselves in that situation. But the nice thing about doing what you want to do the way you want to do it is it allows you to create, contrive those situations to stretch yourself, to grow, to test out your ability to try out, how would I create a monster? How would I make it behave? How would I design an environment? It allows us to play in other spaces outside of our main strengths, where one of the things that of course happens is that if we are in an environment where it's largely a professional context, it's very hard to do the thing you're not good at because someone else who's good at it is there to do it. And we begin to rely overly on those people. But when you're doing it because you want to do it the way you want to do it, it becomes so much easier to flexibly do something because you haven't done it. Do something because you haven't figured it out yet. And that you're eager to be on the other side of it. But that's all there is. Today's probably a bit of a shorter video. Catch y'all tomorrow.